I'm going to make my thesis statement. There is no definite worst party in Final Fantasy V. Okay. There's no definite worst party that consists of 4 different jobs in Final Fantasy V. Is that okay? When you look at all the worst jobs in this game, it's really easy to see the bad things about them in a vacuum, but if you put them together, you can discover synergies that would have been overlooked otherwise. Berserker gets the Death Scythe to cheese tons of bosses, equip axes to maximize your chances, and they get the Rune and Titan Axe to chew through anyone's HP, defense be damned. Monk dominates the early game with double attacks, crits, the ability to give that strength to other jobs, and a slow but reliable chicken knife command. Red Mage exploits most early bosses with the aura magic, then gets dual cast for double healing and protects. Plus they can break rods if you don't care about doing that. The Thief can steal tons of good stuff, has a flee command, prevents back attacks, and has one of the better chicken knife moves. Geomancer is a free trip through most random encounters, and gains consistency back at the very end. Dragoon can use shields, and can do damage, rivaling the Berserker, even if it's a little slower. Dancer has some of the highest DPS in the entire game if you're a luck god, and ribbons are one of the best pieces of armor you can wear. Oracle's amazing magic stat with staff usage means they heal real well with the healing staff, and can break staves of light for huge damage if you grind them. They can use other magic commands well, and Condemn's Doom kills anything in the game that isn't heavy, undead be damned. I believe that no matter how you mix, match, or combine these jobs, there'll always be something that makes you hesitate on thinking if you're really using the worst party. But, damn, does this one seem close? From the last go at this nightmare, I've changed out Thief for Monk and Geomancer for Dragoon. Unlike the last run where I was focusing on the standard 4-job Fiesta rule set with 1 job per crystal, this time I was just purely thinking on which job set has the least synergy. An admirable attempt, but I know deep down there's no way of knowing if this party is the correct choice for that mentality. I talked about this with comments in my YouTube post and with users on my Discord, and my conclusion was, ultimately, I can't really know what the worst party is without playing every single combination of jobs from that opening paragraph. So here we are with my original idea. Red Mages are out because of rod breaking, Oracle is out because staves alone are also too good, even though I do legitimately think it's the second worst job in the game. Geomancer would make grinding simpler and is actually okay during Neo-X death. Thief's flee, no back attacks, and great steals are such amazing conveniences that it took too much stress off the run, and what the hell am I doing if not trying to create the most unpleasant run possible? Aside from whatever Seer is cooking up anyway. We've got Monk and Dragoon as the newcomers, who were originally in the most mediocre runs. Monk because even though it's the physical red mage and dominates the early game, it straight up sucks and can barely do anything in the last third. And Dragoon for its game-spanning unhelpfulness. Lance is straight up useless in a run where no one can spend MP, Spears barely do any damage until the very end of the game, and even then only against certain monster types, and Jump is... Actually, Jump is fine in this run, but only in this run. The experience of using this party composition for as long as I did really warped my perception of these jobs, because by the end when I'm watching Jump do several thousand damage, it made me think, is Jump actually not that bad? The answer is yes, it is, because I'm comparing it to jobs like Monk, Dancer, and Berserker, who are jobs that do no damage, rarely does damage, and barely functions, respectively. Plus, it took like 20 hours to get to that point, and you know, I'm getting ahead of myself here, let me back up. When I said something most unpleasant run possible, that includes ignoring beneficial glitches like Berserker's magic underflow. GBA was my original plan before I thought about all the grinding that's gonna have to be done, so you better believe I'm rocking Project Demi for that beautiful ×4 reward multiplier. Except Gil for some reason, that's always been weird. And obviously I'm not playing Pixel Remaster. Berserker's ATB gauge works properly, Monk's kick gets a huge power boost from equipped weapon abilities, and Sword Dance ignores Row. Great buffs, get the fuck out of my video. So we have Monk and Berserker, and credit where it's due, barehanded is such a great early game skill. Berserk's 50% damage buff uses those crits like a monster, but good luck consistently rolling that 8% chance. World 1 was where I was pretty confident in my decision to put Monk in instead of Thief, because high potions are so great to have against bosses like Liquid Flame, Ifrit, and Byblos who hate you and will melt your HP with their spammable full party attacks. Mashing attack is only going to get me counter countered to death, especially with Berserker here. Plus I was in brain empty mode and forgot to buy better armor. I guess I should mention that I was streaming this run and another run that I'll be uploading after this, so my focus was divided between the actual game and talking to people. I'm taking a page from the Sandworm fight and making this a 3-on-1, and using the other neglected aspects of Monk's kit. Chakra for healing, because as bad as it is, it's still twice as good as a potion, and counter only damage. If I never attack it directly, then it'll never do its counter fires or blazes. The hand form uses the most amount of physicals, meaning more counters if this thing ever stops paralyzing me. I've got it in an unlosable situation, so eventually I just speed up and win, and it feels nice to win a battle through strategy rather than brute force. Iron Claw has a lot of defense, and as a showcase for why axes can actually be a valuable melee weapon, with their ignoring 75% of an enemy's defense perk. This isn't incredibly notable here because Iron Claw sucks, but already fists are showing a major weakness. I didn't know it in the moment, but Ifrit was the start in a long chain of bosses being assholes for no reason. You know how in some games the occasional enemy will suddenly become really smart and dumpster you when you've never had them on your problem radar before? This happens to me in this game at least once per run, but now that I've announced to the game that I'm trying to make the most annoying run imaginable, it takes that as a sign to pull out all the stops, take off all the gloves. Ifrit relentlessly spams Fire and Blaze, and I go down in no time. I'm under-leveled, yeah, and I go and remedy that, but it just gets more absurd the further things go. And even with the grinding, Blaze is a move that does percent damage, so actually the more HP I get, the harder it is to keep up the chakra healing. Ifrit completely reverses the situation on me and forces me to go back to the purely damage route so that I can kill him before he kills me. I win, but at what cost? Byblos is the bane of physical jobs. Already good defense and HP, Discord to destroy your damage, random wind slashes to do 200 to 300 everyone, a protect counter, and eventually a drain counter to more than undo any damage you might inflict. Too bad crits can't penetrate protect. That would make this fight much more doable. But since I know what I'm getting into, more grinding, up to around 17. I've played this game in too many different ways to know what the ideal level is for this point in the story. But if you have any mage at all, this guy is a total cakewalk since everyone but White Mage will have a fire spell. Even Geomancer, who I had in the original run. But now, since 2 of my jobs are from the Earth Crystal, I'm stuck with these cavemen until I beat Archaeoavis. Weirdly enough, while Byblos is my typical asshole boss, he wasn't really this time. He only took 2 or 3 tries to go down. It really was just luck though. A weirdly high amount of crits, with even the rare drain miss. This is why I was nonplussed about Ifrit being so annoying. Byblos really took me off guard. +1 to the I have to grind for death sides run counter, and now I know that bio soldiers only bio counter if they're alone. So thank you for that info. Still, when this happens, this is between a ridiculously high... Oh god. No. Get him, Galoof. Man, that was close. You can't convince me that this guy isn't one of the most dangerous enemies in the game relative to where on the main path he's placed. At least Prototype is stuck on an island somewhere. It's a nice change of pace though, being honest. But really, he has 2 Berserker weapon steals and neither are better than the Death Scythe? Look at that goddamn thing. Why doesn't he drop the Scythe? He's in the same encounter table as the Harvesters. They could have done some swapping around. Sandworm is thankfully much easier than the original run. Chipping this guy away with 2 thieves and a geomancer was one of the most agonizing experiences. This fight is never fun, but this is one of the few wins I had over last time. Having to tear my way through the desert again, and I wish the Berserker had some semblance of awareness that this thing was undead. I don't get it either, man, but can you hit literally anything else? I have to admit, Death Scythe being such a fantastic cheese weapon for so many bosses for the whole game has got me wondering. Berserker is the worst job, but what if the worst party doesn't involve him? So many bosses are single target HP sponges, so even without the insta-kills, they're still a very viable and useful unit to have for the majority of boss fights. Not all of them, but they are who I had to rely on for most of my big damage. In a melee-focused and magic-absent run, the piercing effect was super nice to have, even if the miss sound effect was maddening to me at times. I stand by my there is no true worst party statement, but if Berserker isn't on it, then I could definitely believe it. I feel like this thought was why my first attempt at Soul Cannon was 3 Berserkers trying to gamble on hitting the launchers, but no. Trying again with only equipment that gives agility wasn't enough, need more damage numbers. The successful run did give me the lottery win I was hoping for. The Berserker soaks both the launcher hits and then Bartz immediately retaliates with a killing blow on a launcher, so I didn't have to waste a focus on one. From here it's just spamming focus and praying for crits. Love seeing 4-digit damage this early, but really, the 2 bosses that are normally huge run roadblocks did not pose much as one after all. This will be made up for later, don't get disappointed. You know how Siren is a good matchup for White Mage because of the Cure on Undead mechanic? Archeoavis is kind of the same thing for Berserker, and I don't mean the Death Scythe. This guy has always had the combination of abnormally high defense like Ironclaw, but with an element absorb gimmick stapled onto him. Plus, he's actually a decent challenge unlike Ironclaw, so I've shelved barehanded for now to tear through his defense with axes. These damage numbers are crazy high for this fight, no matter what job, so with Monk inefficiently feeding everyone potions, this fight was actually dealt with real quick. That isn't to say things don't get a little close for comfort, but this was another point in Berserker's corner. I never valued the aspect of defense ignoring outside rapid fire, but fights like these are a great demonstration of how magic just cheats. Dancer and Dragoon, oh boy, the D squad, my party is finally complete. Dragoon is not gonna have anything interesting to do for basically the whole run. Basically what you'll see them do is jump for pretty high damage, and this is what I was starting to get into a bit earlier. The general bulk of this team is magnitudes higher than the previous one, so it's less of a problem if Dragoon forces aggro on other people. It's not good for Dancer, but fuck that guy. Anyway, yeah, jump is a good ability in this run for the consistent damage they can output. Dragoon might be the best job in this run for that reliability, but it might also be a better reflection of their status as the least imaginative job on the roster. And even then, jump isn't perfect. One thing this job set will never be good at is party damage. Their only form of it is kick, and this isn't Pixel Remaster. Equip weapon skills do not help. I'm not opposed to waiting for Pyrobolas to self-destruct. Phoenix Downs aren't that precious, this isn't Final Fantasy III, but these trio of bosses are a very good way to gauge how World 2 might go. It's not looking good. World 2 arrives all the same, and I had just learned that counter doesn't work with Berserker until Pixel Remaster. So since barehanded is only going to get worse from here, with defense increasing and fists scaling really poorly, I'm focusing their efforts on more just letting them do their thing. It's sad that the best thing I have is an HP plus ability, but that's a pretty sizable amount for them. They have the second highest HP pool behind Monk, and even then it's only 1 stamina less. However, Berserker might be ditching the fist, but this is where Dancer enters the fray. Sword Dance attacks once for each weapon equipped, so already we're getting 2 hits out of it with no charge time. Plus, fists can crit, ignoring defense, so they can do even more damage than they already do. So Dancer has immediately become an instant potential man. Or woman, depending. The odds of all this working out even in the best case scenario is, total shit, though. The other 3 dancers don't care about how many weapons you have, or even what weapon it is, and the crit percent is 8. So a 25% chance into an 8% chance, as if this job needed even more gambling involved. That's why when it works out, it's like witnessing a unicorn. Dragon Pod was the ultimate reverse domino effect, if that's the right terminology. This fight is the Monk's best matchup with Kick wiping the Little Flowers, but they just so happen to paralyze Galoof right as I chose it. Maybe this is a side effect of Dragoon being mid-jump, but either way this led to a constant downward trend of damage and efficiency as the Berserker never hits the pod and status gets spread everywhere like it's a competitive Pokemon match, so I just manually restart. Monk is easily able to maintain some League of Legends style crowd control while everyone speedruns the fight to make up for lost time. No scythe luck needed, just pure damage numbers abound, and this fight is done in half the time of the previous attempt. Same thing with the next fight. Enkidu very quickly falls, but Gilgamesh is torn up by everyone's high luck. Gilgamesh particularly sucks up a lot of my Sword Dance fortune. It sucks for him, but it takes a lot of pressure off future bosses, much to my dismay. I'm once again pulling out the intended Atomos strategy, leaving someone to be sucked up into the void while everyone beats on him. The successful run had no slogas, which is always my restart indicator for this guy, but there's always so much HP to chew through that even a successful run is a long one. Not that I was that close to losing, but considering where Bartz and Galoof ended up at the end, they probably could have gone a little faster. Even when cheesing with sleep it takes forever, Blue Mage is the only job that makes this guy tolerable. I'll admit fault on the crystals though. I always go out of my way to make this fight last forever because I cannot let the Death Scythe luck go. This especially bit me in the ass here because I haven't mastered Berserker on anyone to have equip axes. And even with my occasional grinding, I'm still a much lower level than I should be. It's the ultimate punishment for my type of gameplay. I unfortunately have no one to blame but myself. Even speeding up the game and holding A on Chakra, I got 0 insta-kills. That is freakishly bad luck. Yeah, I know they're level 77, but come on. More grinding and more of the exact same. I'd say that cumulatively all the fights took like a half hour with the fast forward, and then all of the kills came at the same time for some reason. Is this what people call karma? That sounds like a good ability, actually. Exclamation point karma. I should have given that to Necromancer or Oracle or something. He said, "Ugh," at the same time Lena used her,
Yeah, I took out the little thing that you have to take out of the battery. Now I have an egg.
Damn, Bartz, I hope you do that
throbbing.
during X-Death. Did 7,000 damage turn 1. I hate Dancer so much.
I hate dancers because they do big damage.
Okay, yeah,
I can understand you, Derek.
We beat Gilgamesh in 2 turns. Would you believe me if I said X-Death was a second try? The first try started so promising with the starting sword dance crit getting my blood pumping. X-Death did not take that shit sitting down though, insta-killing Crow with Vacuum Wave, following up with Earthshaker, clearing Bartz and Ferris with Zombie Breath, and ending it with Bio. It was such a clean wipe, I can't even be that mad. And what shouldn't be a surprise, Bartz did nothing for the majority of this fight. I want to remind you that without Thief, there is no sword dance equipment available until after Melusine. He's at least doing well at dodging, so even if he's not contributing in damage, Lena is still there with the Poison Axe, and Ferris is consistently jumping on his head like a damn Goomba. Jump having perfect accuracy is a very nice aspect of Dragoon, I'll fully admit that. Berserker getting put in the back row sucks, but with this team and this boss, I'll seriously take anything I can get. X-Death has a little over 32,000 health, and a successful sword dance chunks him for 4,000, around 1/8. A very impressive number, definitely a reason why some people would value Dancer, but when you put that in perspective of Dancer doing 0 damage for the majority of their turns, it kinda balances them out to being shit again. Dragoon is averaging 500 a turn with 1,000 damage jumps, which is much less impressive on the surface, but again, consistently. Dragoon being invincible during those turns is a real legitimate asset during this fight, where X-Death has all of the hardest hitting attacks in the game up to this point, and eventually starts attacking twice per turn, and in Pixel Remaster he has a 3rd phase where he has fucking Meteor. I know this is going to be the hardest fight for a while. I'm using all the tools I have to keep everyone alive for as long as possible, and any turn that Dancer doesn't die is both shocking and relieving at the same time. Krill is using Focus anytime she doesn't need to use an item, and while any crit dealt is technically just a worse sword dance, at least she'll still be doing any damage at all at the end of it. Sadly, I forgot to buy Phoenix Downs before coming all the way up here like a fucking moron, and X-Death enacts my least favorite thing about turn-based games to put Krill and Bartz down for good. Lena has been stuck in the back row the entire time, basically just doing chip damage, but anything is good here. At this point I'm frantic, trying to decide between attacking and healing, and I do kinda have to admit Lena being back row has made her survive a lot more hits than she would otherwise. X-Death even decides to finally heal her with Blizzaga. It doesn't last forever though. It really is down to Dragoon here.
Yeah, that's nothing at all.
Whoa. Mayumi's disappearing into the ether as we speak.
Why?
Because you were all you're going all glitchy.
I'm not doing anything!
I'm not saying it's your fault, I'm just saying it was happening. Ineffective,
Okay,
ineffective.
I entertain this little bastard.
Come on, Dragoon, you can do it. Yes, Aegis Shield. Oh no.
Wait, he went inside the trash can? Okay. Sure, bro.
Come on, Dragoon, you can do it. You have
Dragon
to do
can't
it.
do it because he's a gooner.
Yeah, jerk off on him. Get him. Jump. Yeah!
Oh, who's
Fucking
this?
Dragoon could do it. I knew it. First try, idiot. What's fucked up is that X-Death wasn't even the most difficult fight around that point in the game. Anlan took multiple tries because he wanted to halve, quarter, eighth everyone's level, and Gargoyle was a particular nightmare because my damage is both too low to kill these guys at the same time consistently, and also too random to hope for high rolls on chicken knife sword dances. There's so many attempts and all of them are the exact same. Chicken knife one guy in like 2 or 3 turns, can't kill the other one fast enough, the other one revives with full health. Oops, finally got the sword dance, killed him, revived again. I wish I was back in the X-Death fight. Eventually I have to follow my emergency backup plan. You know, everything started going downhill after I got rid of Bill Clinton. Let's bring Bill back. And against the game's best efforts, it fucking works. I kinda hate this game. I've seen a lot of people show their surprise that these robots have anti-jump skills, and I definitely shared their surprise when I saw it for the first time. I actually managed to use that as a strategy against them, because the Interceptor rocket isn't a counter. They use it as their move on their turn, so as long as Ferris keeps jumping, she repeatedly distracts the robot from attacking other people. The rocket doesn't even do damage, which is the most surprising thing, so I can legitimately just do this forever until they die. That's the only notable thing to happen in here. Yeah, let's go. Man, this party sucks. Melusine apparently has different physical and magic defense for the elemental forms. I did not know that. This is only relevant because I was banking on Lance being a consistent but low damage tool, but, well, no. I got the Gaia Hammer, so Berserker temporarily has Dancer Syndrome because of the gamble between Quake and not Quake, but it all comes down to Chicken Knife Sword Dance anyway. What else is new? Sidetracking to farm the Chicken Knife up and get a Rainbow Dress to finally bump up my gambling odds. The Snake Lady didn't make it very easy though. She was extremely consistent in killing herself with roulette. Literally 100% success rate in magical seppuku. You ever wonder what roulette looks like in universe? Getting back from the desert was a little harrowing, but I'm all good. The dancer equipment isn't even necessarily horrible, like statistically, it's just that it's stuck on the fucking dancer, and the good equipment in this game is so good. Hermes sandals over red shoes, the black suit, or the black, like, not the black robe, but the black garb, I think, for bodies, and then the ribbons or gold pins for the head. So it's not that they're bad, it's just they have too much competition. Oops, I forgot Gargoyle absorbs Holy. Thanks, Dragoon. Well, with a max chicken knife, a 50% usable dancer, 4 party members, and my first recorded instance of Assassin's Dagger actually doing something, these guys are orders of magnitude easier than they were at the Pyramid. I also want to take a sec to comment on the Tote Avis enemy. What the fuck is up with this thing? That I know of, there's 3 enemies in this game that use this sprite, recolored, obviously. The Zoo's right outside Karnak, which is a pretty beefy enemy for where it is, but not unbeatable by any means. You can still take it down in a few turns. The Rook, which is an ocean encounter somewhere. Hell if I know where any non-Stingray, non-Villia ocean enemy is. And then this thing. Rook has around 9,000 health, which is a lot for a Final Fantasy V enemy, but again, ocean encounter, you will more than likely never see it. The Tote Avis has more than 7 times more health than the next highest random encounter, and has about twice as much as one of the one-of-a-kind mini-boss enemies from a chest. It's heavy, it can petrify you, it just generally hits hard. What the fuck? What is this thing? Did they accidentally switch it and Pantera's locations and then never fix it in the re-release, like the knife thing? It only gives ABP as a reward, which usually only bosses and the enemies in the final section of the final dungeon do. And while you can run away from them, it's extremely difficult to do without an ability. You can steal Avis killers from them, but this guy is the last enemy who uses this sprite, unless there's more enemies after it that it can be used on. Even if it isn't, is it even worth using against them? Using the Ranger to counter a boss-like enemy that's going to take several minutes of your life no matter what advantages you pull out against it? I get the sand and land crawlers being disproportionately powerful because you were warned about them in World 2. Here, I don't know if any random NPC talks about them. I need answers. The Avis should have been the actual boss here. In fact, I think the Wendigo fight was shorter because of my great luck in hitting Sword Dance bullseyes. Toad Avis has 13,000 more HP HP than Wendigo. What the fuck? Now that I'm gonna go up Fork Tower, there's something important I forgot to grab. And yeah, I wasn't funny the first time, dickhead. I let Berserker beat on Minotaur while Dragoon heals with high potions. Counterattacks on extra damage, very appreciated, but things go about as expected after that. I have no magic abilities, or maybe I do because this game is bullshit and sucks, so I'm doing my own bullshit and playing a different game while Omniscient goes in the background. My original idea was, can I beat one Tactics A2 mission before Omniscient runs out of MP, but the difference in speed between manual fast forward and mash the equals key until auto fast forward maxes out is pretty high. I did quite a few missions actually, and this guy was still chugging along casting spells, so I had to relent and hold speed up in the end anyway. Kind of a funny experiment, couldn't tell you if it was worth doing or not. I have no intention of fighting any other optional bosses because they'd be cheesed by some accessory shenanigans, but I do run through Istory Falls real quick to grab the Titan Axe. With no magic ability and with the Thornlet Band, this axe actually gets to shine here, but it only barely ekes out the damage averages. And at least I don't have to worry about MP-less crits, not that this was ever a worry for any boss before anyway, but it's also funny to imagine that the Berserker was the only job in this run that could consume MP at all. The Rift boss lineup, as is usually the case, won't get too much of a spotlight here. Dancer pretty cleanly cleaves through everyone with max damage sword dances. What else is new? Califasteri spams her counter drain way more than she usually does, seemingly trying to replicate the trend of bosses spamming their best move 10 times more than previous runs. But sadly for her, her best move only does 400. Azomagia dark sparks Lena in a futile attempt to prolong his existence, but hey, that looks like good damage to me. While I do get owned by all of Catastrophe's Earthshakers, everyone's huge HP count means I can tank a few, with Ferris masterfully dodging the last one to finish him off. At this point I've mastered Dancer with enough characters to have Equip Ribbon on almost everyone. I forget exactly why Bartz doesn't have it, but spending one extra turn on using a Maiden's Kiss isn't gonna noticeably affect the outcome. What's Monk gonna do, punch him for 1200? Now that Barehanded has lost its luster, there really isn't anything else good to use for secondary abilities. HP plus 30% is very appealing, but the stats and debuff immunity from Equip Ribbon far exceeds the practicality. Anything from Dragoon sucks, anything else from Dancer sucks. Counter would be good on Berserker if that worked on SNES, and Equip Axes could help the monk's damage, I guess? But their magic stat is similarly god-awful, so with Berserker holding the Titan Axe, the monk is getting nothing out of any other weapon that gives them access to. So yeah, Equip Ribbon dominates. Quintania is weak to Holy, so Dragoon nearly hits the damage cap with Jump. I'll say this, 5,000 damage per turn on average is legitimately great numbers. On paper, that's the same as Dancer. Obviously, it only applies if you're hitting a Holy or Dragon weakness, assuming you're getting the Dragon Sphere, but as I reiterate, in runs like these, we take those. Sword Dance kills a barrier right out of the gate. Love to see that. And everyone lives through the Flares and Holies. Love to see that. Monk gets a double crit on another barrier to kill it. What the... Where was this coordination 5 hours ago, you dickheads? With the barriers down and with the full party rocking those ribbons, Flash does nothing to us while we wail on him with max damage sword dances and jumps. We did lose some men/women along the way, but the ends justify the means. The starting phase of Xdeath really doesn't matter. His worst move, White Hole, is negated by the ribbons, so Neo is our main target here. This shit all comes down to RNG. Can I get enough sword dances to kill Almagest down there before it wipes me? The answer is a definite no. I would highlight more of this fight if there was more to it, but of all failed attempts, they all were due to that exact move decimating my party. Even at my low 40 levels, Dancer will not survive it, and being pelted by everything else in the meantime just wears me down, having to spend turns on healing everyone with my high potions or limited elixir supply. It's not like I never get sword dances, but with 55,000 HP, you know how many coin flips that is? Obviously Dragoon is helping, but Monk isn't doing shit, and Berserker has an even lower chance of hitting Almagest, let alone hitting anything at all. The successful run... You know what, fuck it, I'm gonna put an edited montage here. I think me expressing my anguish in real time speaks volumes louder about this run than any post-commentary will. Stick around for the end, though. Yes, do that. Do that 10 times in a row. I did not farm the Dragon Lance. I probably should have. I don't think the Dragon Lance is going to be the thing that determines victory, but maybe I'm wrong. Come on, Sword Dance, please. Yes, keep doing that. I'm just elixiring myself because I have to get out of KO range. Jump over it. No, not Mystery Waltz, you fucking dickhead. Oh, get owned. Ah. Attacking twice in one turn, you son of a bitch. Okay, we gotta elixir back up. Get full. Okay, that did not do very much. That's a good waste of a turn. Alright, come on, Dance. I need you to cooperate here. Ugh. God damn it. Ugh. English not called Dragoon Lance. I think in this translation it is. In one version it's Dragoon Lance, and in another it's Dragon Lance. Okay, that one was nothing. I can't believe, out of all things that it wanted to do last time, it wanted to zombify my only living party member. The only thing that could have killed me. Asshole. Can you stop attacking the fucking dancer, you asshole? I can't just keep healing, I have to actually do damage. Don't you dare attack the fucking dancer again. I'm gonna be actually mad. I'm already mad. I'm mad that I can't get sword dancing. Is there even any point to healing the dancer? It's gonna die in one hit to whatever the fuck else anyway. Yeah, get Delta attacked, idiot. Yes, keep doing that. Okay, there's the back section finally taken down. The Berserker, this boss has dummy targets that X-Fight and Berserker can hit, so the Berserker's basically a dead slot right now, unfortunately. Just keep doing this until I get the Golem. He is stupid, yes. This is true. Oh, Ferris blocked it. Oh my fucking god, I hate turn-based RPGs so much. I'm so pissed. They are a dummy, yes, that is true. Yes, do that. Keep blocking it. Man, not only can it hit dummy targets, it can't hit shit to begin with. I don't even know why I'm bothering to heal you. You're not gonna do shit. Yeah, the revive death cycle. Even with haste, X-Death takes too many turns. Okay, that's fine. Do sword dance, please. Fuck you. God damn it. Man, I wish Almaguest was reflectable. Maybe it is, I have no idea. Ah, why? Why? Fucking farts. I hate dancers so much. You have no idea. We have to kill it, farts! Kill it! God damn it. I hate you so much. Okay, fucking Ferris killed it. Fucking thanks for nothing, you asshole. I hate... oh my god. Do you see why the dancer is the worst job in the game? Grand Cross, honestly, I'll fucking take a Grand Cross at this point. Unless you, if you zombify all three of my people, I'm turning the game off and we're playing fucking Barbie Adventure or whatever. Like, I got hit with Doom, that kind of sucks, but whatever. The dancer's gonna die before the timer runs out anyway. Really doesn't matter. What? What? It actually hit something? What? The fuck? Okay. I don't know what that was. Glad that Bart is making the stream longer, but it does look miserable. I hate the dancer so much. Mystery Waltz, man, what the hell? What's up with the mystery waltzes? So this is my last elixir. Don't know what the damage threshold is between the other, or like how much damage. What the fuck? 25% chance my ass. Is this Golem? Okay, finally, I'm done with the magic lamp. I guess I killed a dummy target. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, sword dance. Oh, imagine that. Which is the human one? Are either of the remaining ones human ones? I don't think so. The top left one's dragon, and I've been countering the top right one, so I don't think either of them are human. It's probably the Almaguest one that's human. Where's Ferris? Never mind. Okay. Alright, Doom. I was like, what? You telling me that Dancer can just die? No, that's Doom. I don't fucking know. Here you go. There's no way that an 800 HP Dancer is gonna survive anything. Whatever, at least it's damage. It's like something. Damn. Out of Golem already. Yeah, Kick is probably not worth using. Maybe if Equip Weapon actually boosted Kick in this version, but it does not seem to. Mini? The ribbon doesn't make you immune to Mini? I don't even know. Should I bother reviving the Berserkers? Not really doing much. I guess so, I might as well, because the Monk isn't doing much either. It's like the Dragoon is both consistent. Ugh. I need to keep you alive more than anything, because you're the actual contributor. Unlike Bartz, who just wants to keep jerking off in the corner. Also, thanks for the membership. Sorry, I didn't say that earlier. I'm just pissed. Ouch. I don't know how much damage I've been doing between the two parts. What's your job ranking of the party? Well, Dancer was doing pretty good up until this fight. Now it's annoying me. Literally to death, bro. God damn it. I'd say Dragoon is unironically the best party member here. At least during this boss. How the fuck is it dispelling so much? It's weird. I can't believe that I haven't killed either of these parts yet. I guess I haven't been targeting them at all, but still, it's weird. I got up and swung immediately. Weird bug. Okay, alright, there's only one part left, which is really bad. Just attack it. I have to kill it as fast as possible. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, he did it. Oh my god. Well, Bartz is dead, but I think he deserves to be. Fuck this goddamn job. I just accidentally kept the two remaining parts at, like, equal health. It's not over yet, though. All of my party challenge runs always leave out the bonus bosses, so I wanted to give them a shot. Before that, I had a pretty strong feeling I'd only stand a chance if the Dragoon had the Dragon Spear, so I did that for a while. Thank you for joining me to do the worst Final Fantasy content on YouTube currently. I really should have done this in between streams, but I just didn't for some reason. Shinryu and Omega, fittingly for being the mainline series' first super bosses, are fucking stupid stat checks and gimmicks. The damage these guys put out is so high that I feel like the intended strategy for both of them is to just randomly find out what debuff they're vulnerable to, then just abuse that in whatever way possible. Berserk and Image or Golem or Crit HP Knight for Shinryu, Stop Song for Omega, Omega, or Calm if you're playing on GBA. I had a little under an hour's worth of attempts on Shinryu, switching between everyone with Coral Rings, 2 Coral Rings, and 2 Aegis Shields so Zerker and Dragoon could have haste, back to 4 Coral Rings because it also gives me immunity to Atomic Ray, Man-Eater on Dancer with Jump so that Dragoon could use the Chicken Knife, but honestly, over time, it just became increasingly clear that the only way forward was pure RNG. Just praying for Sword Dance, praying that Shinryu doesn't wipe me with some goofy attack I didn't know he had. Maybe the occasional shield that hit. Don't big guard, you piece of shit. Yeah, Sword Dance, get him! Jump on him. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, no, they're immune to it.
Oh.
Yeah. Ah! It was that easy. It's that fucking easy. Yeah, I never had a doubt in my mind.
Damn.
I got the Dragon Quest and Ragnarok. But I win the numbers game, you goddamn dragon. Omega, though, I'll be honest, I'm not sure if this party is capable, even at level 99. You can be immune to some of his moves, like getting Float from a Galacat to dodge Earthshaker, and Coral or Flame Rings to absorb Atomic Ray, but several of these attempts died to getting hit by 2 of those do 50% of your max HP attacks back to back. That feels pretty indicative that grinding doesn't really help me here. Even with 9,999 HP, I would die to that. Omega has a level of 119, so it's not like I can out-level him to make stuff like that less accurate, if it can even miss. And that's not even counting Encircle, which just removes someone permanently that can only be rarely dodged. I think this fight is probably possible, but I just spent an hour smashing my skull against one super boss. I know that isn't a lot of time in the grand scheme of JRPG super bosses, but I really don't have it in me to try every single equipment combination possible. Kind of an underwhelming ending, but maybe that was the fate of this job set from the beginning.